Fighter Bloody 6. I have been having the time of my life with this game for the past week ever since it came out. And honestly, I've been struggling to make an impressions/general thoughts video on this game for a while, simply because there's just so much to talk about and I don't know where to start because I love this game that damn much. There hasn't been a fighting game that I have played religiously since its release, since Tekken 7. And funny how I say that because Tekken 7 was released June 2nd in 2017, and this game was also released June 2nd. So funny how shit works out. But where can I start with this game? Well, I can already tell you the online is good because I did partake in the online beta test, the open beta I should point out. I did get a closed beta code for the Xbox, but I never got around to using it. So these general impressions of mine is purely for the PlayStation. And first off, I'm gonna start off with the World Tour. World Tour is everything I have wanted ever since they showed it off. The best way I can describe this, which is basically the words I'm going to be taking directly from the actual developers themselves, this game is the closest we will have to a video game adaptation of Karate Kid. You all remember that? So basically, the way the story works is that your created character is either Daniel-san or Julia-san, if you've seen Karate Kid 4. And every Street Fighter character you encounter, Luke, Chun-Li, Ryu, Guile, and my favorite, DJ and Zangief. Oh, and Marissa. Can't forget about Marissa. They all play the role of Mr. Miyagi, where you can chat with them, fight with them, and go deeper into their stories as they teach you more of their fighting style and special moves. And honestly, that is my favorite approach to doing a story mode in a fighting game. So yep, calling it right now, this here is the best fighting game story mode for me personally. Does it have the chapter by chapter progression and presentation of Mortal Kombat? No. And I gotta be honest, I'm glad it doesn't. You can only play that for so long before it becomes a little too formulaic that it becomes quite repetitive and boring. So this World Tour story mode is a breath of fresh air and I absolutely love it. So there are two main open world sandboxes in this game for you to explore. The first one you start with is Metro City, which is from the classic Final Fight games, which you can play in this game by looking for arcade cabinets around the city or playing the arcade cabinet online in the Battle Hub. Basically the online lobby system. So you run around, you level up by beating up all these different baddies and gangs who are indicated by putting cardboard boxes on their heads. That is so stupid, I can't help but love it. And you also encounter other people who wear these different types of masks and other weird clothing, like there are even gangs that wear TVs on their heads. Again, it's so stupid I can't help but love it. And as you're doing all of that, you're going around, leveling up, learning from your different masters, learning more about your masters, and you can also play these different mini games that are not only throwbacks to the other classic Street Fighters, like how you played the original Street Fighter 2 and you'd bash up cars. You can do that in this game with trucks, little trolleys and all that. There's also the parry mini game from Street Fighter 3 where you're blocking basketballs. And you've also got my personal favorite, Karate, where the game will teach you all about charge motions by charging your karate chop, whether you're going back and then forward with an attack, or up and then down with an attack, to chop bottles, wooden boards. Oh yeah, the board breaking minigame from Street Fighter 1 is also in this game. Yeah, a lot of people still don't know about Street Fighter 1, but you can play it in this game. So many classics in this game. There is just so much packed into World Tour mode alone that it blows my mind with just how packed it is. You've got many things you can do in the story mode, and you encounter the World Warriors in different locations. Now, in just Metro City alone, they give you all sorts of different fighters to encounter without having to leave the city. You go to the Chinatown part of the Metro City sandbox, you will encounter Chun-Li. You go to another part where there's a construction building, you will encounter Ken Masters. You go to the urban side next to the martial arts arena and you'll see a Japanese themed restaurant, which is Chanko House Edoman, which is led by none other than the classic sumo wrestler E Honda. At night time, you will find two more characters, which are the newcomers to the game, Kimberly and Jamie. So there's already so much in this one open sandbox, and then the game gives you even more by allowing you to go to another place called Naishal, where you have a lot more arcade cabinets to play, a lot more to explore, a lot of items to collect, and you can even fight regular people on the side, and above their head they will have different levels, so you can either be above them, below them, whatever, and depending on how well you do and the certain conditions you meet in the battles, you will unlock items, money, all that stuff to customize your character with. And my personal favorite thing is that the more you level up with a certain master, the more special moves that you can get, and you can mix and match them with other characters. At the moment, one thing I've done is that I have given my character, who I've named Miss Gigas, yes, I want that character in Tekken 8 so badly, I've given her Zangief's level 2, so I can hit them up in the air and then combo into Marissa's level 1 where she does a massive punch to the face. And oh, that's right, there is another thing I love about this game where you can actually reset your character's leveling system if you've done something that's hindered your progress. For the longest time, I had struggled to get my character the full level 3 super bar, and I realized that by going back to the leveling tree that I had chosen the wrong thing to level up. So, with all the miles that you earn in this game, so yeah, you run around and travel, you earn miles so that you can level up your character, I reset that so that I could go back and I could actually get that level 3 super bar so I could use Zangief's 720 pile driver super move. Oh man, and when I got that, it felt so damn good. Now, I'm not going to spoil any more of the story because for long-time Street Fighter fans like me, I don't want to spoil it for anyone else who is like me. Or even if you're not like me and you just want to be spoiled on the story, you can find plenty of the story mode cutscenes on YouTube if you're curious about that. Whew, and that's just the World Tour mode. This game is basically 3 games in one. You've got the World Tour Story Mode, which I like to call my favorite Grand Theft Auto, except in this game you can actually fight the pedestrians and not look like a damn ragdoll whenever you push a damn button. You've got the Online Battle Hub, which again, I'm not going to talk about in this version of the game specifically because my main experience with that was the open beta. But it's basically the same, but just better with smoother online. And I can't go too in depth with the online because even though I did play the open beta and the netcode was good, it could have been better because admittedly, I'm on Wi-Fi. I cannot use my Ethernet cable, so I can't go too in depth with the online simply because I don't have the appropriate setup to get the best online experience to relay back. But I can relay back the Fighting Grounds. Fighting Grounds is basically your standard fare for, well, basically any fighting game. You go into that mode to play your arcade, your versus, your story, your extra battle, where you've got the mini games, like you've got these crazy battles of a freaking bull running across the screen, Mega Man-esque powers and enemies interrupting your fight, and the combo trials. Oh man, experimenting with the characters in this game has been so much damn fun. My main characters to play at the moment, at my number 1 is DJ, number 2 we've got Zangief, number 3 is Kimberly, and number 4, Marissa. Now I'm not going to go into the actual balancing and where I think these characters placed on a certain tier list. All I can tell you is that this game's new drive system makes the freedom of combos in this game not only so approachable, but also so in-depth and just allows you to mix and do all sorts of crazy shit. One of my personal things to do with this game is that I love doing a counter hit with Zangief's headbutt, dashing, chop, another dash, chop, and then cancel into level 2, launch him into the air, and then jump up, grab him in the air, and then slam him back to the ground. And that's just a basic combo, believe it or not, compared to what I've seen other people do. Shout out to Desk. Man, that fella's nuts. And right now, I've been experimenting with other characters to see what they can do, and it is just so much damn fun. I have been wanting to play every single character in this game just to see what other crazy bullshit I can come up with. I'm not too good at doing crazy bullshit, but hey, that's not going to stop me from trying. And another thing that's also been on my mind ever since this game came out is the actual drive system itself. Not only is the drive system easy to use, but the one thing that has made me laugh a little bit, I don't know if developers are doing this intentionally, but their entire system seems to be built around the actual numbering of their game. Think about it. Street Fighter 3, whether it's New Generation, Second Impact, Giant Attack, or Third Strike, the 3, what do they have in that game that has 3? 3 super arts. And then you've got Street Fighter 4. You had 4 blocks of special gauge so that you can do your EX moves and your focus attack shenanigans. And then you've got Street Fighter 5, which is System 5 with their V-Skill, V-Trigger, all that jargon. And then you've got the drive system, which has 6 blocks of meter with 6 things to have you focus on. So, number 1, you've got the drive rush. Number 2, you've got drive impact. Number 3, you've got drive reversal. Number 4, you've got the drive parry. And then number 5, you've got overdrive, which is basically your EX move. And number 6, burnout. Burnout is honestly one of my favorite new additions to Street Fighter, or any fighting game for that matter. Now, to give you an idea on what burnout is, it's basically to balance out the amount of freedom that you have. You can do so many special to special cancels with your drive rush and your overdrive, but if you're too careless, the burnout will make your character tired and you cannot use the drive in mechanics at all. Honestly, this is kind of what I was wishing Mortal Kombat 11 would do, with how it had the auto-regenerating special gauge, the horizontal bar I think it was. No, the vertical bar, that's what it was. And you could just exhaust it and then hang back and wait for it to refill to do another special move. But in Street Fighter 6, if you exhaust it, you had to hang back for a very long time in order to get that meter back. The only way you could charge it a little bit faster was to actually go on the offensive. But the only problem was, if your opponent has drive gauge, you're gonna be finding that a bit more difficult to do. So again, I love how that is balanced out, and I've seen so many people complain and struggling because they've been burnt out and they can't do anything about their opponent's offense. And to those people I say, that's the entire fucking point. You can't just turn your brain off and just throw that shit out. You have to think about it. And my frickin' word, I just love playing this game so frickin' much. My only issue with this game, well, more nitpicks actually. The first one is, I wish I had more time to play it, which again goes for pretty much any game. And my second nitpick, now again, this, I cannot stress this enough, this is purely a nitpick, but when I play this game, even though the footage you're looking at is my PS5 footage, I have got the physical version of the PS4 copy, and I can play it on my PS5 where I've downloaded the PS5 version for free. And I played that so much on my PS5, I felt a little sorry for my PS5 and I wanted to give it a rest. So when I did, I played the game on my PS4 just to satiate my curiosity on how it would be on that version. And while I haven't played the Xbox or PC version, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that the PS4 version is by default the worst version of Street Fighter 6. And believe me, the game still looks and plays beautifully on the PS4. It's honestly unreal how good this game looks, despite the fact that the PS4 is quite an old system. And luckily for me, my PS4 is a PS4 Pro. But I can imagine for someone who still has a standard PS4 or even a slim PS4, they're gonna struggle a bit with this game. Loading times were way longer on the PS4 version, and there's a few little graphical ifs in the game that just makes you go, ooh, that doesn't look right. The most obvious one for me being Luke's eyebrows. Yeah, but don't pay attention to that. And oh yes, now speaking of character detail, yeah, so I'm gonna deviate away from the PS4 now. Going back to the detail on the characters, one of the things I love that fighting games are doing right now, with the exception of Mortal Kombat 1, I don't think they are gonna do this because from the early footage I've seen, it just doesn't look like it's gonna be their focus. But I love how Street Fighter 6 and the upcoming Tekken 8, they are doing real-time muscle contraction. There are certain moments in this game where, for example, Zangief will do his Ric Flair chest slaps, and during the hit stop, you can actually see his bicep and his pectoral muscles actually jiggle, and it's not only hilarious, but it's pretty damn fascinating how they're able to do stuff like this, with every single character's muscles moving in real time, not just in story mode cutscenes or cinematics. And geez, if you think Zangief stands out, then yes, the females. I don't need to go into detail on that. But yes, honestly, I've been talking for way too long about this. This is my first time recording a video where I have not done any cuts during me speaking into the microphone. Jeez, I cannot word correctly. But yeah, that's just how much this game has just amazed me. I have gone through this whole recording session uncut, and I'm quite amazed I was able to do that. So if you're curious about Street Fighter 6, well, I will say, like, it is very pricey, but it is worth it. But at the same time, if you want to save your money, you don't want to buy it right away, don't worry, this game's not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's definitely a winner. So I will tell you to buy this game, but I'll also tell you there's no rush to it, because this game is still at its early stages, and it's very healthy, and it's going to continue doing great. And I can see this getting awesome updates with even more characters, because we already do have the first lineup of characters confirmed. Rashid and Ed from Street Fighter V, Aki, who is basically Faust from Street Fighter V, and of course the classic Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo boss, Akuma. Well, that's gonna be all from me. As soon as I'm done with this recording, I'm just gonna edit the clips together quickly, and I'm probably just gonna jump back into World Tour mode and the combo trials. So, yep, that's me, Fano. Thank you so much for listening to me talk about all my nonsense. And if you've played Street Fighter 6, or if you're planning to, let me know what you think about it so far. But until then, that's me, Fano. I will see you next time. Ka kite.